Hello, welcome to TechWeb Dots. Today I am going to discuss how we can handle conflict in ASP.NET Core. Okay, this is a very important session. Let's move ahead to check out the agenda. So, all the green bullets we have already covered. You can take a pause and read out all those topics that we have covered if you are interested in any of them. So, check out the link of playlist which is given in the description of this video. So, for the current session, we are going to discuss how can we handle conflict in ASP.NET Core with the help of Entity Framework. Okay, so let's move ahead without wasting time. So in our last session, we have seen handle concurrency in our application. Two users want to update the same record at same time and they want to perform operation on that. So we have selected optimistic concurrency. With the help of these two, we can implement, or you can say we can handle concurrency problems or conflict issues in Entity Framework Core. Okay, so example of timestamp is given. As you can see, we are using the timestamp attribute on row version property which is of byte type. Okay, and on the right side it is in the database where every row has its different version. If you don't know what is a concurrency and what types of concurrency available is with Entity Framework Core, so I strongly suggest you to watch the previous video. Okay, so how we can implement the conflict handling. So there are other approaches as well to resolve the conflict or errors, like we can have the entity framework automatically drop and recreate the database based on the new model and class schema, but this is not suitable when we are working with the production application, because you can implement this with dev but not with the production. And the second option is explicitly modify the schema of the existing database so that it matches the model classes. So what will happen in this case, we will manually update the database and make all the changes in our application on code side. Okay, and the third one that we are going to use in this session is the code first migration to update the database schema. Okay, so that's what our preference, and we will use the package manager console to update the changes in our database. Okay, this is the same solution on which I was working on throughout the ASP.NET Core tutorial series. So as you can see on this screen, this is a very simple book management system where on the clicking of create we can create new book, or on click on edit we can perform the modification of these any of the record. Okay, so if I modify this, let's put it here publisher 33 and save it. So you can see now this application is working perfectly fine, and even detail is working fine, and even delete action is also working fine. Okay, so let's close this as of now, and I will go through you the piece of code that I have added to perform the conflict handling. Okay, because I want to save your time. If you are new to this session, so let me let me quickly go through you the application on which we are working. This is the ASP.NET Core application with Entity Framework, and we are using asynchronous programming here. So if you are interested in this solution, the link of GitHub repo is given in the description of this video. Just check out that one. If you have any suggestion, just mention there. Okay, so this is a simple ASP.NET Core application where we have one book controller, we have data access where we are using the repository pattern as well, we have book context here. Okay, and as a model we are using book model, and we are using the pure Entity Framework Core generated views which are create, delete, detail and edit and index one. Okay, and we are also using the code first approach. With the help of migration only, we are making all these changes. Okay, so let's quickly go through you the changes that I have made. So this is the very first thing that I made here in the book model. I have added one new property, timestamp. Okay, with the help of this timestamp attribute, and the property name is row version, we can perform this. We are performing this activity with the help of data annotation, but we can also perform this activity with the help of Fluent API as well, as I already said in the beginning of the session. So in on model creating, like I have commented this code because I am using the data annotation. So in the same way we can also create the timestamp one, okay, the property, and all its important properties, like what will be the column type, and is it a currency token type or value generated on add or update or not. Okay, so you can also perform this with the help of DB context class, or you can say Fluent API. Okay, so now the changes of this model is done. This is step one. Second step is how we are managing the conflict. Okay, so for that we will go to the repository, because where we are performing the actual saving of the record. So here we have the save async, and I am considering how a basic ASP.NET Core application really works. If you are not aware about that, don't worry, the concept will be very clear. Just check out the link in the description of the video, where I have explained all the core concepts of ASP.NET Core application with Entity Framework Core. Okay, now let's back here. So in this save async example, what we are doing, we are trying to save the changes, okay, which is awaitable, and we are trying to commit the change here. But if there is any concurrency, then db update concurrency exception will be generated here. And now what we are doing, we are fetching our entities. So in entries we will actually get our book, and we are using all those entities in our solutions. Okay, so as you can see, entity dot current values, it will all the client value one which are mentioned in the application. And I will don't worry if these points are not clear, I will show you in the debugging mode how actually it is working. So all the client supplied values will be captured here, and all the database values will be captured here. And now in the for each loop, we are setting all these values which are very important. In it, proposed one is the one which are mentioned by the client, or you can say the user, and database one which is already persist in the database. Okay, and at the end we are saying in original values we want to set the database values. So it's up to us how we are dealing, and I strongly suggest you take the code from the GitHub repo and do as much as experiment you can on this. Okay, so from all these actions, when there is a concurrency exception exists, otherwise we can throw an exception, unable to save changes, and book details was updated by someone user. Okay, and I mean it's up to us how many catch block you want to define, and it is the same one as I have already explained in our previous sessions as well. It is a normal DB update exception, and where I am just storing this exception message and storing the type of inner exception we are getting, and just performing the rollback operation. Okay, this is the third change. So it's up to us where we are managing the exception, because there are lots of approaches already implemented in IT world. Because when we are working in the real-time application, it's up to us where we want to handle exception. And in the upcoming session I will also explain what is the best way to handle exception in Entity Framework Core. Now here we are performing all these steps in book repository, and after performing all these actions we are throwing this exception so that we can get in controller, and we can display the appropriate message to the user. Yes, this record is updated by someone else, so you should go back, or you should take the latest version, or you should take the latest version of this record. Okay, so once it is thrown by the repository, so we will catch that exception here, db update concurrency exception, and here in model state we are adding this error message, unable to save changes, book detail was updated by another user. Okay, and further we are writing here, please reload to get the latest record. Okay, and then again we are moving back to the same view with the help of same entity details. Okay, you can check the details after taking the latest of this code. So this is the fourth change. Now a very important change is after implementing the adding this timestamp property in book model, you have to update this property as a hidden field in delete view as well, in index view as well. You can see here we are adding here as a hidden field for row version, or in edit CSHTML as well. This is a very important point, because without this, if you are trying to update the record, so that will not be updated. Okay, so I am just saving your time because I already done this thing and I found the issue, so that's why I'm explaining that catch to you. Okay, so now let's run the solution once again and try to generate a scenario where we will get the concurrency exception. Okay, let's run the solution. So our application is working fine now. Let me click on the third record, which is title 3, publisher 33. Click on edit. Now I have loaded the details of the third record, which is title 3 and publisher 33. Okay, let me show you the status of this record in the database as well. Okay, so this is my SQL Server Management Studio, and this is the database that we are using, which is books, and in that we have a table book here. Okay, and in that, if I will fire this query, okay, so you can see right now 3 records that we can see on the UI: title 1, 2, 3, publisher 1, 2 and 33. Okay, now what I am doing behind the scene, I am just trying to update the title 4 where book ID 6. Okay, because in the real-time scenario, 2 users want to update the same record, so definitely one will update the changes before another one. Okay, so I am considering this, I just update this one. Now if I try to click here, now we can see the third record is updated and the title is title 4. Okay, and meanwhile let me also launch here the SQL Profiler as well, so that I can show you what is the actual problem that which is going to generate, okay, when we will work with this. Now let me run it by default and clean everything. Okay, now it is running. Let me minimize this one and this one as well. So now if I try to update, let me just remove this tree and just save it like this. So if I save it, so boom, now it is giving the error, unable to save changes, the book detail was updated by another user, please reload to get the latest record. So that's what we want to do actually. So now in this way we are managing the concurrency. Okay, if I minimize this one, so this message is actually coming from our controller where we are specifying the message. Okay, there is a DB concurrency exception. Let me show you this change in the debugging mode, how it looks like. If I click on save, okay, and go back to my SQL Server, and here if I update the record with title 4, now if I will click on save, breakpoint is here. If I click again, going to save changes, now our DB update concurrency exception occurs here. Now let me show you the profiler, how that works. So in the profiler, let me stop this. Okay, so if we go to the RPC completed one, so this is a select one. No, we don't want to check this one. We want to see the one which is the update statement. This is the record which actually fires the update statement, and SQL Profiler is already catching all these things. Now here we want to update the record. Okay, let me copy it from here. Let me copy it from here and paste it into the SQL query window. Okay, so it will be more clear for you. Okay, let me, okay, yeah. So now you can see we are executing a statement. We are updating books, set publisher, okay, and we are setting the title here, and in where condition only two things are here. One is book ID and the second is parameter is row version is parameter 3. Okay, and we are selecting this record. Okay, and now here in parameter 3 value is 2711, but at the time of loading this value was different. That's why we are not able to read the record, and DB update concurrency exception exists in our code. I hope this is clear now. In the next session we will discuss the another type of concurrency handling, which is with the help of concurrency token. That's it for this session. I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any comment, Any suggestion, just drop into the comment box. I will try to reply on that as soon as possible. Your feedback is very important. If you think my hard work is enough to add some knowledge in your bucket, so hit on the like button and subscribe, and stay tuned for next session in where we will discuss the cancellation token entity framework core. Bye bye.